like to call the monthly Board of Education meeting to order. Can you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
We sure did our house.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have a motion to adopt the agenda.
Make that motion.
Mr. Quinn makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Deering, second. All in favor, show of hands.
And we're all here.
7-0, motion carries. Citizens' statements, Dr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had no one request participation as per board policy BDDH.
Written communications.
We had no written communications either.
Thank you. Military update.
Good evening. I'm Megan O'Donoghue from Fort Leonard Wood, and last week was Veterans Day, so first of all, I'd like to thank all of our veterans that work for the Waynesville School District, our teachers, our admins, our behind the scenes, or our bus drivers. I want to thank you for your sacrifice and your service. Next week, of course, is Thanksgiving, so we are truly thankful for all that you do for our service members, our children, and the Fort Leonard Wood community. On November 23rd, General Bonner will have a town hall at noon, and it will be streamed live on the Fort Leonard Wood Facebook. The Fort Leonard Wood tree lighting ceremony will be held on 1 December at 5 o'clock at Joint Services Park and will also be streamed live on Facebook. For our military families, MWR, in partnership with the Spirit of Christmas Foundation, will be giving away free Christmas trees. So if you can wait just a little bit longer than the day after Thanksgiving for your Christmas trees, you can pick up a free tree at the Auto Craft Shop. Delivery time is to be determined. Please watch the MWR website. And finally, our school liaison has a Homeschooler 101 class tomorrow at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Building 470 on Replacement Avenue. Pending any questions, that's all I have this evening. Go Tigers, Army strong.
All right, thank you very much. The district announcements, Dr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight we will recognize Wood Elementary. I see him out there in the audience. There we go. A hush in the crowd over there. Okay, let's see what Williams does. And Williams Early Childhood. Boy, I don't know. The applause-meter is a little off.
I think
no.
When I was a kid, we did the silent cheers.
That's
And
it.
maybe
That's
what that
right.
was.
Well, yeah. No, we do appreciate everything that you're doing to help our students, especially during this time of COVID and the restrictions we've had, and especially not only Wood Elementary, but our Williams and the little folks running around having the masks on and all the different complexities that goes along with that. So thank you very much, and we look forward to hearing your spotlight later on here. Waynesville High School will present a recorded version, and I hope I get this right, of the play Begets Fall of a High School Ronin. Is that right, Marianne? Okay, good. At 7 p.m., December 10th, 11th, 12th, 18th, and 19th. Due to COVID-19, this show may be viewed online only. Tickets are $8 each or $12 for a group to view the same screen at once. Information about the play and how to purchase tickets to view the performance online are on the high school website. At this time, the 9th annual Route 66 Shootout, Pulaski County, USA, will be held on Friday, December the 18th and Saturday, December the 19th at Waynesville High School. We are asking all parents who have not already done so to please complete 2 forms. Both of them are found on our website. One is the Impact Aid form. And this, the Impact Aid form is very helpful for the district because even though we count Impact Aid per pupil, it's actually payment in lieu of taxation on Fort Leonard Wood. So this is not money that is above and beyond the money or the revenue brought in by the district. This is money in lieu of that taxation. And so we have to have an accurate count on the pupil, on the number of pupils in our district that are eligible for Impact Aid. So please fill that out. Then the free and reduced meal application, please go on and fill that out. That will be critical as to our ability to continue offering some of the food services we've been able to provide over the last 8 months. Information about inclement weather days will be going out on Thursday to families, so we encourage families to please check your email on Thursday. There'll be no school Wednesday, November 25th through Friday, November 27th for Thanksgiving break. Students will return to school on Monday, November the 30th during Thanksgiving holiday. I please ask everyone to follow CDC Thanksgiving guidelines so that our students continue being here in the seated classroom. And finally, I want to pause and take a moment to say thank you. I'm very grateful for our community support. Also, we didn't get a chance to mention this last week, but we do honor our veterans. We're very thankful for both our veterans and our active duty service members. We have many things, even though it's been difficult this year, have many things to be thankful for in our school district, and we appreciate all that the community does to support Waynesville, our teachers, our students, our parents, and our community. We're the best, and we sure wish you a safe and wonderful Thanksgiving.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion to approve consent agenda items A through I if there's no question or comments.
So moved.
Dr. Foreman makes a motion. Do I have a second? Mrs. Dye on the second. All in favor? 7-0, motion carries. Move the spotlight on education. Williams Early Childhood Center.
Hello, I'm Sabina Labib from Williams Early Childhood Center, and I am here to put the spotlight on education on two of my peers. So the first one would be for the certified staff for Christy Davis. Come on up, Christy. She is our process coordinator, and something that people wrote about her were things like, I love Christy. She's so passionate about her job, and she's so good at it. She cares for our students and their families. I know that sometimes the information we have to communicate to our families is hard to hear, but she has a way of delivering this information with such sentiment. I know that the families really know that she cares and has their child's best interest when placing them in the classroom. Her job can be hard. Let's not even mention all the additional paperwork and extra duties piled on top of that. Personally, I can come to her with anything at any time, and she always makes time for me. She absolutely gives the best advice, and I trust her. Christy is one of the most genuine and thoughtful people I've ever met. You're lucky if you know her. So that's what some people wrote about her and nominated her. And our And our classified staff member would be Leroy Fulmer. Leroy, come on up. Leroy is a para in a special education classroom, and we had 3 different people write things about him. So first one said, Leroy is a team player. He's always willing to do whatever's needed for the kids to be successful. He always has a positive attitude and is quick to offer a helping hand at any time. Leroy works hard each day to ensure all the students' needs are being met. Another person wrote, Mr. Leroy is always positive with all staff members and students. So it's an ongoing thing. He really is positive all the time. I don't think I've ever seen him mad at anything or frustrated. He's always smiling. He never reacts when children do the unexpected. Instead, he calmly deals with it. When a job is given, he always jumps right in to start working on it. Mr. Leroy is my right hand. So I believe it's his teacher who wrote that. When I am gone, I know that my classroom will run smoothly when he's in charge. He has been a dependable sidekick for 7 years. I'm a better teacher with him at my side. And another person wrote, we are blessed to have Leroy here at Williams. He's a great person to work with. He's dedicated to student success. He has a really special way to work with students. Even though Leroy is not my para, he's always there to lend a helping hand to me if I ask. He has a great attitude toward education and is always a positive person to work with. Yay, Leroy. And he is really awesome, and the kids love him too.
right, tonight we are going to recognize the entire Williams Teacher PLC this night. So if they can come up, if you're on the Teacher PLC team. We're recognizing them tonight. They've really gone above and beyond during the coronavirus time. They're focused every single day. They're focused. We're going to focus on the personal information. All of our standards have doubled in proficiency since school started. That's really a big deal for us. But personal information, that's something we teach our kids in case they were to get lost at Walmart, so they can say their first name, their last name, how old they are, and then a family member's name. That's really important. So when we started, they were at 36% proficiency in August when we did our pre-assessment. By the end of first quarter, they were already at 81% proficient in advanced. That's a lot of growth in a short amount of time for these little guys. And to put it in perspective and to tell you how focused they have been all year, this time last year, they were 73% proficiency. So we're really proud of the focus that they put on instruction this year. They kind of feel that sense of panic and try to give them as much as they can in the short amount of time. So thank you, Teacher PLC. You can all come over.
Aaron, do you want to be in the picture?
Just put Aaron right in the middle of it. Yeah.
Jasmine, you and I were short. Jasmine and I were short. Thank you, Marianne. Thank you so much.
Okay, congratulations everybody at Williams. Next, Wood.
My name is Brittany DeWan, and I am the head of our Cheers Committee at Wood Elementary. It is my honor and privilege tonight to help recognize one certified and one classified member of our Wood Elementary for the great work that they do for our staff and students. I would first like to recognize Mr. Kerry Davison as our Certified Board of Education Spotlight recipient. Mr. Davison, better known as Coach, currently teaches PE at Wood Elementary. He sees every student in the school and knows everyone's name. Coach's wife also works for the Waynesville School District as a high school teacher. They have 3 sons, 1 daughter who's a sophomore at the high school, a daughter-in-law, and a grandson. When Coach is not at school, he enjoys camping and watching his kids play sports. Coach has been working for the Waynesville School District for 17 years and has been at Wood Elementary for 6 years. Coach Davison makes such a positive difference in our building by fostering a good rapport with both students and staff. Most impressive is Coach's developing technology skills. He continues to learn how to use technology resources and isn't afraid to try something new. He's currently learned how to video himself leading stretches and display that video through the projector so that he can walk around and help students while he teaches. He's literally duplicated himself. When we were able to have assemblies, Coach created a high five cam to use with our students as they walked into the gym. Our students loved being a part of the action. During our virtual learning time last spring, Coach's dog Jethro was featured in his fitness videos. This helped our students stay engaged in the PE lessons. This year, Coach used iMovie to produce an excellent video about the playground for our PBS day that made the students laugh while also teaching the expectations. And if this isn't enough, he also plays music for our staff and students every morning at arrival. The hallways are filled with top hits and sing-alongs, sure to pump everyone up for the day. He has a very energetic personality that is infectious throughout the building. Coach Davison is a great asset to our Wood Elementary family. He truly cares for our kids and students, and they are always looking forward to his class each week. We asked some students what they wanted to share about Coach, and we got some great feedback. When he wants people to try their best, he pushes them to do it and helps them reach their goals. Another student said, he keeps the whole school in shape. And another student said, we love his funny playground videos. He's strict, but he knows how to play new, fun games. Coach is a great team player, supporting his colleagues whenever needed. We are so lucky to have him here. I would now like to recognize Miss Marcella Nelson as our Classified Board of Education Spotlight recipient. Miss Nelson has been a paraprofessional at Wood Elementary for 6 years. She is from Richmond, Virginia, and has been married to her husband, Frank Nelson, for 32 years. They have 1 son, 2 daughters, 6 grandchildren, 2 great-grandsons, and another on the way in December. When Miss Nelson isn't at school, she enjoys fishing, bowling, singing, crocheting, and cooking. She crochets beautiful pieces for all the new babies that bless our Wood Elementary staff, and we have all benefited from her delicious cooking. Miss Nelson is currently a paraprofessional for our K-12 special education cross-categorical room. She is an integral part of helping many children learn how to read. Miss Nelson is a dedicated educator. She is in tune with her students' goals, and she works with them daily to push them to surpass their expectation. She shows compassion for everyone she comes in contact with. She is a team player that goes above and beyond her limits. She takes the time to research, collaborate with teachers, and implement best practices in order for her team and students to be successful. Miss Nelson is everyone's biggest cheerleader. She takes the role of mom for our Wood family. She checks in with students and staff every day. You can truly tell that she cares about you and that she loves her job. She knows her students and does everything in her power to help them be the best that they can be. She's a great leader and a great asset to us. There's no morning greeting like the ones given by Miss Marcella Nelson. It can turn any cloudy day into bright sunshine. Though Miss Nelson spends most of her time working with K-2 special education students, I believe the majority of Wood students know her. She feels that every Wood student is her student and treats them as such. Whether it's an encouraging word or a word of correction and redirection, she's going to give our students what they need. She's an encouraging face and a guaranteed laugh for the staff members as well. Also, she makes the coffee in the staff lounge. Very important. Miss Nelson frequently stops by classrooms to see how things are going. A staff member commented, "I knew I wanted to nominate Miss Nelson when she was meeting with our school administrator, and I realized that Miss Nelson makes it her business to find our administrator and give her a personal greeting daily to help her start her day." Miss Nelson is exceptional. She is amazing with our students. She works incredibly hard to help them meet and exceed their goals. She also does her best to make sure they are understanding their classwork as well. She always asks for the teachers' newsletters and lesson plans of our students each week to ensure she is matching up what she is teaching them with their goals and with what they are needing to learn in their classroom. She has helped many students meet and surpass their goals, boost their confidence in themselves. She is incredibly organized and keeps us organized in our classroom. She has developed notebooks for each student to help us better maintain their data and work. She has also made sure to put in extra activities towards each student's goals in their notebook for daily practice. And so there is always something in their notebook towards their goals if one of us is out unexpectedly. She has also helped her classroom teacher create their behavior reward plan, their sight word climbing bulletin board, and design their behavior reward cards for their students to be able to set and track their behavior goal each week towards their behavior reward. The students love her. She consistently goes the extra mile for her students' emotional and academic well-being. She's a pleasure to work with. She truly cares and is always there for us and our students. We are so lucky to have her as our coworker and paraprofessional for our students.
My goodness, that was a mouthful, but those two are just so amazing. We could just talk all night about them. So I want to recognize one of our teams, our collaborative teams. We're going to recognize our 4th grade teachers at Wood Elementary. Each Wednesday, our grade level teams meet during Late Start PLC. They collaborate on student progress and proficiency of district standards. Each team looks at their group as a whole and then digs deeper to provide interventions for individual students. 4th grade is constantly making strides towards proficiency amongst the grade levels. They often take note of specific deficiencies they noted on previous activities, and they make changes to their instruction to close the gaps. Their team synergizes every week to help students make the most gains possible. I want to thank our 4th grade team for being so dedicated to our Wood students.
You're in the center there. There we go. I gotta get all these. Oh, absolutely. I can actually tell my eyes. Yeah.
Congratulations again. Okay, we'll move to Mrs. Bills, Transportation Employee of the Month.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is my honor and privilege to again announce this month's winner of Transportation Employee of the Month, Terry Bilbrey. Terry has been a transportation employee for the last 5 years. He does an excellent job building rapport with students and informing parents of any little behavior concerns before they get out of hand and become big parent concerns. This contributes to a safe bus for our students. He's a great asset and so dependable, and we're such a lucky organization to have him a part of it. So thank you, Terry, and congratulations.
Congratulations, thank you. Community recognitions, Mrs. Bills.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, it's my honor to recognize Mike Neese and his lovely wife, Sue, I believe, is with him tonight. Mike is the manager of Culver's, and he's always willing to help out any of our school organizations. He partners with FFA to help with the FFA banquet. He helps Skills USA and also the Culinary Arts Program. He allows our students to job shadow there. He also is an active member of our Culinary Arts Advisory Board. He's just a super support to our district and also helps support our WCC golf tournament. So it's my honor to recognize Mike and for his contributions to our district. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. She forgot to add, I know a lot of the kids that are in sports, they say go to Culver's work because he'll let you off for track season.
Right.
So we do appreciate that.
Absolutely. And he hires our kids big time.
Oh, yeah.
Right in front of the Tiger.
Right in front of Tiger.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for all your support, sir. And Dr. Henry, community recognition.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr.
Oh,
Schultz. I
I'm
have
sorry.
some more recognition tonight. It's my honor to recognize our pandemic task force. This group of individuals has met several times since the spring, really, to talk about pandemic reopening and precautions we need to put in place for our students. They offer advice. They're a great sounding board. They provide Mrs. Long and I with an incredible education because we are no medical professionals, and also just the support and validation we need. And so I would just wanted to take some time tonight to recognize them and thank them for their ongoing support and contributions to our district. And so I'm not sure who all is here, but I'm going to recognize Deborah Baker, Wanda Larimore, Todd Bailey, I believe, is with us.
Very good.
Lori Spar, Walter Mattil, and Lori Laughlin. So thank you all, and please come up if you're here. All right, great. Oh, is that Lori? I'm chucking things at Mr. Cobb. There we go. All right. Thank you.
I don't know.
Yes, I'm smiling. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And now me.
Okay. Mrs. Ace is not here to have all my notes.
I know. We're all, yes, we're all missing.
All right, now, Dr. Henry.
Sorry.
No, I blame Megan.
Oh.
Usually she has my little notes. for me.
Megan's fault.
Well, if I could have the person I'm recognizing stand up here with me, if you wouldn't mind, Representative Lynch. As some of you know, I have this is my day job, but I'm also the commissioner for the Military Interstate Children's Compact Commission in Missouri. And I've got the privilege tonight of recognizing an individual here who has invested a tremendous amount of time, energy, talent, blood, sweat, and tears into our community. And it's impossible to describe Steve in just a few words. And as you know, Representative Lynch has a gift for words. All right? And if you've ever had to present, like I have, after Representative Lynch, it's not a very good thing to have to do. And I've had to do that several times over the last several years. But Steve's been a key contributor to, it seems like, an infinite number of community improvement initiatives. And he's represented us at the state level for 4 consecutive terms. And unfortunately, in Missouri, that means he's termed out. Steve's contributions to our community in Fort Leonard Wood are many. I'm here tonight to recognize him for one of his contributions that many people may not know that Steve has done. A requirement of the Military Interstate Compact Commission is that you have a state council. And your state council is something that is designed to provide input from your state on the transition needs of military students. And even though in Missouri we were an original signatory to the Children's Compact, we did not have a state council until November of 2017. And at that time period, because of the work of this man here, Representative Lynch, Joe Driscoll, and myself, we were able to kind of navigate through the minutia, I would say, of state guidelines and regulations to actually stand up our first ever state council in Missouri for military students. And so Representative Lynch was at every meeting since then. He's been an extremely valuable supporter of our organization and the compact across our country. And so when MIC3 learned of Representative Lynch's departure from the state legislature, I was contacted by Sharisa Mai. Sharice is the executive director of MIC3, and we discussed the need to recognize Steve for his contributions to our nation's military children. And even though we would love to have flown him out to our October commission, we don't get to fly anywhere anymore. We don't get to go anywhere anymore, so this is a little scaled down right now. But at this time, I do want to recognize Steve Lynch with the Distinguished Service Certificate from the Military Interstate Compact Children's Compact Commission and a coin, and say thank you, Steve, for all the support you've given this school district, this community, and military children. We truly appreciate you, and thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I want to thank you, Dr. Henry, for the opportunity to work with you on something that is very dear to my heart, and that is our military students. And Mr. President, I want to thank you, as you represent the Waynesville School District, for the great experience that I had as a student here, graduating in 1972. Going to school with so many of my friends and fellow students that had military moms and dads gave me a really unique perspective to particularly serve on this particular compact. So I want to thank you for investing in our children here and for allowing me then one of the most important things that Dr. Henry and our compact has done. Because many school districts, unlike ours, who have so many military students, some of them don't have that many, and they struggle with how to make that transition smooth for them, how to be accommodating to them, and how to be welcoming to them. So it has been an honor for me to be able to, on a statewide basis, promote our military students in Missouri. And I'll end with this. I was really nervous, Mr. President, when I came tonight. I've spent 8 years being blessed to recognize so many good people and so many things that they've done. It's a little strange to be on the other side of this, but it's much appreciated. Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah, Steve, I want to thank you as well. Now, I don't know many. I always put pictures. Steve's always taking the time. I don't know if there's a kid or a teacher or an adult in this district that has not been in the newspaper or on our Facebook page or whatever the case is, that Steve doesn't take the time, clip it out, sign it, and send it home or send it to the school to give it to that student. And I will say that I always thought it was a big deal. And my children, I mean, that is, when they see that Representative Lynch envelope come in, it's a big deal. And I remember one time I thought I was going to get to meet the governor, and I said to my son, "You want to come meet the governor with me?" And he said, "Why? I know Steve Lynch. I don't need to talk to the governor." But it's those little things like that, Steve. We appreciate it. I hope the next guy in line has as much passion. I'm sure Bill does. So, but thank you so much for your service, for serving with Janice on the foundation board and everything you've done for our community. We cannot thank you enough.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move into discussion item, the Waynesville Middle School construction update.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight we have Don Huseman from Dickinson Huseman Architect to give an update on the middle school Phase 2.
Well, good evening. I hope you all enjoyed your walkthrough this evening. We do have a few images here from, let's see if we can get them up. Here we go. From the November 16th. And things haven't changed a lot since these images were taken, but a few exterior. They're getting ready to pour the sidewalks and some of the areas in the plaza. Again, we're seeing now finished grades going up to the building, and it won't be long, and we'll have grass on those, I hope, if the weather allows. Parking lot was paved not too long ago, of which this evening most of us parked there, so that was a welcome sight to be able to park in front of the building now and walk up. Most of the glass has now been installed, and the glazers are installing the outer caps of all of the windows. And that is one of the last things to do with regard to glazing. Masonry is all complete. The building's all been washed, and the roofers, at least on this day, were putting on the parapet caps. And so that means that the roof membrane that looks loose and hangs over the building for so long will finally be buttoned up. That upper portion shows the silver stripe going down the top of the roof. Interiors, we got to see this evening. The atriums now come alive. This is a view of the combination, more looking into the lower level atrium, but we can see the upper level atrium on top. Let's see, this is the instrumental classroom. That is, a lot of painting is now going on, especially in the lower level. The lower level leads the upper level a little bit more now in finishes. Views going down the corridor, a lot of work, a lot of the infrastructure now being completed, and before long they'll start on the installation of the acoustical ceilings, floor tiles, and continue with painting. This is a shot looking directly above the main gymnasium. That's the new rear screen projector and projection screen now installed. An action shot of the day we were in there were students using the gymnasium. The floor restoration is just gorgeous there. If you haven't seen it, it will be thrilling to you to see it. Bleachers are now in place. Tile is continuing in the restrooms. Shortly, the toilet partitions will be installed and those rooms will be finished. And that is our last image. Any questions of those or anything that you saw tonight? Okay, thank you.
Hey, it's really a beautiful facility, not completed. I can't imagine in another few months what it's going to look like. We got the tour tonight, and it was very, very impressive. So they'll be excited to be in that building. Especially, it looked like to me, I think the band and the music classes are really going to like it. Okay, health services update. Ms. Long.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to share an update on our health services programs tonight. I'd like to share just by reviewing our departmental goals, which are to maintain a healthy learning environment for our students and our staff members, and provide health education for students and staff members. Here's a list of the objectives that we work towards through our nurses in the buildings. And our current staffing plan, which has not changed over the past 2 years. We currently have 6 RNs and 6 LPNs on staff in the district. This year's professional develop has focused on, we began the year with learning the new Tyler Student Information System and all of the health services parts of that. It goes into immunization tracking and reporting, and has some great systems for us to track nurses' visits and documentation within the system itself. Last year, all of our district nurses were certified as CPR instructors, which proved to be incredibly valuable this year when the ratio went 6-to-1 for CPR instruction. We were able to split them up and offer multiple courses at once to get all of our staff that needed to be CPR instructed in August, and so they are going through their renewals, and then the new nurses are going through that process this year of continuing to all be CPR instructors. Did a lot of PD last year on asthma, had some great training come down from the University of Missouri in Columbia, and do a lot of training for our nurses on asthma, as well as diabetic education. There's a lot new technology that many of our students are utilizing, wearable technology that our students use in the buildings, and so we had some nurses that had some questions on that and brought in some help, and then they shared a lot with each other on what they're seeing and helping students with that. Through the special health care needs survey that we give out every year, the top 2 growing areas that are addressed by our nurses are the diagnosis of ADHD and asthma. That growing number of asthma was another reason why they requested, and we did that training last year. Can't help not to speak about what our nurses have been doing over the last spring. Last spring they came in very early in the morning and did in-person screenings for both our cafeteria and our transportation staff, which they had actually a lot of fun doing, getting to know those personnel, and I know they gave everyone a great sense of comfort and safety there, answered a lot of questions during that time from those staff members that they were screening. They also worked really hard to help us to prepare lessons for students and staff, everything from flyers, keeping updated on, as you remember last spring, it was just constantly changing the information that we were getting, the recommendations. So they did everything from helping to identify posters that they thought would be age appropriate for their buildings, to videos that we were then able to put together, creating lessons for both our students and staff whenever they returned this fall. We had a lot of updating our just district templates and procedures, getting some things on paper as our standard protocols, so that whenever we welcome new nurses, those are on paper and there for them to refer to. This year, in addition to a lot of their standard practices, they are conducting random health screenings within all of their buildings, health assessments. The mandatory health assessments, the state did not ask for nurses to conduct those this year, obviously due to a number of reasons, but they do those upon referral, and are trying to, they work those in as they can. Also updated on isolation procedures for any suspected COVID cases, as well as their great assistance with contact tracing. And they spend a lot of time with our parents and our students answering a lot of questions regarding maybe the symptoms they have, and recommendations there, and making referrals through their offices. These are 2 numbers from last fall, 2019, a snapshot of September numbers in both of the offices. You'll see their number of visits have actually decreased, a little bit less traffic. We are believing that to be because people are staying home when they're not feeling well, so they're not, risking it and sending them and then having to be sent home to the nurse. But they definitely are really, like I mentioned, more than making up that time, particularly on the phone. When they call in sick, they will be referred over to the nurse to discuss what symptoms they have and what recommendations that our nurses have for them as far as returning to school. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Long. Does anybody have any comments or questions for Ms. Long? Proposed job descriptions, Ms. Bills.
Thank you, Mr. President. The following attached job descriptions are presented to the board for review as a first reading. 4.13.5 WCC Adult Education Secretary, 4.13.6 WCC Director Office Finance Secretary. Administration will request approval at the December meeting.
Thank you. If anybody has any questions, then contact Mrs. Bills between here and there. Move to action item, MSBA full policy renewal. Dr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, each year we come to you with the annual service agreement from Missouri School Boards Association. They've been very good about maintaining reasonable cost and not escalating cost on this, especially given the situation that all schools in our state are in. They do provide comprehensive changes that mirror the expectations of federal law, state statute changes, and anything that we like to contribute as a district. Of course, it's legal. Just a reminder, we do have our TABS committee that has representation from the board, as well as other staff members to contribute to the policy process, and it does go through 2 readings. So they provide this service to us to keep everything updated, but the board does have the final approval in how that will look. So I am recommending at this time that we go ahead and take the full maintenance policy for the amount of $4,317.
Comments or questions? Do I have a motion? So moved. Dr. Foreman makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Dye, second. All in favor, show of hands. 7-0, motion carries. Board candidate filing dates. Dr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Board candidate filing dates for the April 6, 2021 general municipal election are Tuesday, December the 15th, 2020 through Tuesday, January the 19th, 2021. Candidates may file at the superintendent's office during the regular hours of 7:30 a.m. through 4 p.m. Except for the first and last day of filing, filing will not occur on days that the school district's central offices are closed due to inclement weather or other health-related reasons, making it unsafe for school staff to travel. Filing will also not occur on the following holidays and breaks when the school district central offices are closed: December 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 31st, January 1st and 18th of 2021. Filing will end on January 19th of 2021 at 5 p.m. There are 2 positions available with 3-year terms. Paul D. Schultz II and Jan Dye currently hold board member positions that will be open. Candidates must wear masks and observe district infection control rules in force at the time of the filing.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion? Mr. Ponder makes a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Quinn, second. All in favor, show of hands. Motion carries 7-0. Proposed 2021-2022 school calendar, second reading. Mrs. Bills.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration requests approval of the 21-22 school calendar as presented.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion? Mr. Arden make a motion. Do I have a second? Dr. Former, second. All in favor, show of hands. 7-0, motion carries. Proposed 2021 ESEP plan, second reading. Mrs. Bills.
Thank you, Mr. President. The following attached job descriptions are presented for a second reading. 2.37.1 Assistant Director of Career Adult Education, 3.8.5 Video Production Teacher, Video Specialist. Administration is requesting approval at this time, please.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion? Dr. Ford makes a motion, Mr. Quinn second. All in favor, show of hands. 7-0, motion carries. Policy IKF, Dr. Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Oh, I am sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. The PROS 2020-2021 ESEP plan, second reading, Mrs. Bills.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think the teachers would be sad if you skipped this one for them tonight. Administration requests approval of the 2020-2021 certified and classified early separation incentive plan as presented, please.
Comments or questions? Do I have a motion? Bonner makes a motion, I have a second. Mr. Deering, second. All in favor, show of hands. Motion carries. My bounty ball's not bounty.
I understand. Yeah. We're on IKF now.
Okay, policy IKF, Dr. Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration requests approval of policy IKF graduation requirements as presented. This proposed change would reflect that high school courses taken prior to 9th grade would be transcripted to the appropriate credit. Currently, courses taken prior to 9th grade are transcripted as elective credit. So,
Any comments or questions?
I have one question. Dr. Atkins, in paragraph 3, and it talks about classes taken prior to 9th grade. I completely agree with the reasoning behind this for sure, but could you expand a little bit on why it is not retroactive for some of our high school students right now?
typically when we change our graduation requirements, they go into effect for the kids that would be affected at the time we're putting them in, which would be those students at the middle school that are taking 7th and 8th grade, our 7th and 8th graders that are taking those high school courses. Because we've already transcripted for the high school students to the elective credit. That was the policy that was in place when they were in middle school.
So that it's not possible to retroactive
Grandfather.
the freshmen and sophomores, for example?
It would be, the board could make that action.
Well, I know with policy that we have done, and this certainly is something that we could take into consideration. Typically, we start with one particular group because the advantages, have been passed by. These folks get to start this now. So, as far as retroactively going back, I guess the question would be: so this computer class, you're stating that you would like to see kids who have had that be able to sub that in now, even though some of them are getting ready to roll for next year, so they don't have to take the fourth math. Is that?
Yeah, I guess math comes to mind as far as one, and obviously the foreign languages. But the math kind of helps dictate, that career or that course path for the high school students, and just was needing some extra clarification on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the clarification on it would be that typically it's been the position since I've been here, at least, that we usually, when we implement policy, implement it with the class coming in. So we weren't aware of that coming into this. I don't know in our previous readings. So it is something that if you would wish to table it, we could take back to the committee and look at again. And look at the number of students that this would impact and the level to which it would impact them. But it's just not something we've typically done. And going through the reading process, we didn't receive any commentary either from the committee that this went through, the instructional committee, the first reading through the board, or anything prior to tonight. So that's the reason it was brought tonight for a final read and approval.
No, I'm satisfied. Just I appreciate the extra information on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Dr. Form makes a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Mr. Deering, second. All in favor, show of hands. 7-0, motion carries. When you do that, I thought I was in trouble. the throat clearing.
Oh, no.
In the past.
I'd be louder than that, Paul.
District surplus, Mr. Cobb.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration is seeking approval of the district surplus list as presented.
Any comments or questions on that? Do I have a motion? Mr. Deering makes a motion. Second?
Yeah.
Ms. Dye, second. All in favor, show of hands. Motion carries 7-0. FY20 audit, Mr. Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight we have Ms. Rebecca Baker here from KPM CPAs to present our FY20 audit, and we will be seeking, I'm looking for approval for the FY20 audit tonight after the presentation.
Hello, it's good to see you guys. I think I missed out last year because of bad weather, so Dr. Berger had to present the audit report. I may have been more interesting than my presentation, no, I'm not sure, but anyway. So we have performed 3 engagements for the district. We've done a financial statement audit, we do an audit of the state compliance, and also federal compliance audits. So I'm just going to briefly review those with you. You should have all received a paper copy of the report or an electronic copy. It looks like many of you have the paper copies, so I might actually go through those. If you want to turn to page 3. Page 3 is our independent auditor's report. We perform our audit to determine if the district's financial statements are presented fairly in all material respects in accordance with the cash basis of accounting. And then we issue our opinion based on those audit results. And the district has received an unmodified or clean opinion, which is the best opinion that you can get on your financial statements. So congratulations. I will just briefly go over some highlights. If you'd like to turn to page 11. Page 11 is the statement of receipts, disbursements, and changes in fund balances. The general fund increased around $3,049,000 for the year. And if you look towards the bottom, you can see the capital projects fund decreased about $5.6 million. The majority of that decrease was due to the middle school project. Total cash balances decreased about $2.6 million from the previous year. The general fund had reserves of 28% at year end. This means that if you didn't receive any other revenue, you would still be able to pay normal operating expenses for a little over 3 months, which is typically what we recommend. The district ended at the end of fiscal year 19, ended at around 24%, which was just a little bit less than 3 months. Okay, next we'll go to page 12. It's just one page over. Page 12 is where the notes to the financial statements begin. The notes are a required part of the financial statements. They give more detailed information on the district's accounting policies, what types of investments the district has, future debt service, etc. So I do encourage you to read the notes, even though I won't go through them tonight. Okay, the next audit that we do is a federal compliance audit. It starts on page 37. And actually, I'll have you go to page 40. Page 40 is the second page of your schedule of expenditures of federal awards. So you can see the district spent $33,754,540 in federal funds this year. That's a lot. You guys win the prize for the districts that we audit. We audit about 70 school districts, and you guys win the prize. A lot of it is due to the impact aid that you receive. So anytime a government spends over $750,000 in federal funds, we have to perform a federal compliance audit. And we have to test 40% of your expenses, and certain thresholds are required for programs when we have to test them. So this year we tested impact aid, which we can't meet that 40% requirement without testing impact aid. We tested the child nutrition program and also the special education program. And if we had any compliance findings, we would note those in the report because the district submits this report to the federal government. And I am happy to say that we do not have any findings to report. Okay, the last audit we do is a state compliance audit. If you'll turn to page 45. This starts here. Every year, DESE provides a list called the Schedule of Selected Statistics. And it's just a list of items that they want us to verify. So the district receives funding based on attendance information, transportation, your free and reduced count, et cetera. And DESE wants us to look at your source documents and make sure that what you're submitting to them agrees with your records. And so we work with the district to make sure that all of that information matches. There are times where we have to have the district submit more information to DESE to make sure that it's right, but for the most part, the district's very cooperative, and we report any information that we have as findings in this section to DESE as they get a copy of the audit report. And I'm happy to say we don't have any findings in this area either. Okay, the last thing I want to go over is just a general recommendation that we have for the district on cybersecurity. This is something, it's kind of a hot topic. Everybody's getting emails where it's trying to get you to click on links and that sort of thing. So we're just reminding the district to do a risk assessment, make sure that you have procedures in place. If employees click on information, you want to make sure that there's no data breach. And if there is, that there's a process in place for employees to let you know that that happened so that you can address it. And to also, I believe your insurance policy does cover that. That's one of the things that we recommend as well. So does anybody have any questions for me? Nope. Okay. Well, in closing, I would like to thank the board for having me here and let you know that everybody that we come in contact with during the course of the audit, which is a lot of district personnel, is very helpful and cooperative during the course of the audit. I think Aaron was a little nervous for his first audit, but I think he survived. It probably wasn't nearly as bad as you thought it might be, I hope.
I'll need to go back and update my resume.
No. He was really good to work with, and Tiffany and everyone in the business office is always very helpful, and we appreciate that. So.
Appreciate Rebecca safely making the trek from Carthage
Yes.
just a few moments ago
I know.
to Waynesville.
I know, it was
Safely,
quite a drive.
she stayed under the mandated speed limit, I know.
Of course.
Yeah.
While I was watching for deer, that was my biggest fear, is that I was going to run into a deer. So.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion on the FY20 audit? Darn makes a motion, Mr. Quinn second. All in favor, show of hands.
Thank you,
7-0,
Aaron.
motion carries. WHS course description updates for the 2021-2022. Dr. Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration requests approval of the Waynesville High School course description changes as presented.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion? Mr. Ponder makes a motion. Do I have a second? Mrs. Dye makes a second. All in favor, show of hands. 7-0. Motion carries. Architect Facility Master Planning Service Proposal. Mr. Cobb.
Thank you, Mr. President. The administration seeks approval of Architect Facility Master Planning Services from Insight Design as presented in the proposal.
Any comments or questions on that? Do I have a motion? Dr. Ford makes a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Quinn makes seconds. All in favor, show of hands. 7-0, motion carries. Proposed subpay increase. Mrs. Bills.
Thank you, Mr. President. We spent a great deal of time talking about a subpay increase at our last special session, and so tonight, due to the sub shortage, not only throughout the state, but our district is no different. We feel it too, and we want to keep ourselves highly competitive and make it worth subs while to come in during a pandemic, and so we are requesting a temporary pay increase for this school year for all substitutes, and are requesting approval tonight, please.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Arns motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Daring second. All in favor, show of hands. 7-0, motion carries. And before we leave tonight, I want to ask everybody to have a very happy Thanksgiving. I know that on behalf of me and the Board of Education, we are very thankful for each and all our students, for our teachers and administrators, all the employees here. We wish you a very safe holiday. And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mr. President.
Mr. Dye makes a motion. I have a second.
I'll second it, President.
Mr. Quinn seconds. All in favor? 7-0, motion carries. We are adjourned.